Okay, so I think I have this set up. Been a while since I did this last year. We are going to take a look at two of the terms on this list. If you're in my seventh grade class, you talking about all these. If you're in my ninth grade pathways, we're not looking at all these words, just a couple of them as part of a review. If you're in seventh grade, this is a introduction. If you're in ninth grade, it's a review. Last week we talked about observations, and that is a skill that involves one or more of the five senses. We talked about we can look at things, that's how we get a lot of our information, but you can't get everything from looking. Sometimes we touch things, sometimes we smell them, sometimes we listen, sometimes we taste things. And that's how we observe the world around us through all that information. And when you have that information, you can then make an inference. And an inference is an interpretation of the observation based on evidence that you see in front of you, or you feel, or you touch, or you smell, and your prior knowledge, something you know already. So you're taking what you observe, taking that evidence, applying it to what you already know, and you're interpreting it. You're making maybe a statement, or you have a thought. You don't have to say it out loud, but you're looking at something and say, this is what's happening. You could be right. That could be what's happening. Or you could be wrong. Let's say, and I think I'm holding this up right, you see here a lead pencil with some tape on it. Put that down there. So you're looking at it, and if you observed it, you said, well, it's green, there's a purple top, there's a white eraser. If you were feeling it, you could say it's fairly light. Um, there's no smell to it. There's tape applied, a little more than halfway to one side. Um, that's about all you can observe. I'm not licking it. I don't really care what it tastes like. I don't need that information. But then you can make an inference. You might say that tape is on there because the pencil is broken. You don't know if it's broken, but based on what you observe, based on prior knowledge, you know that tape can fix things, and maybe you've even taped the pencil yourself. You might say it's not broken, but you say that tape is on there because it is cracked, and the owner doesn't want it to get any worse. Inference, an interpretation of an observation that is based on evidence or prior knowledge. Meaning you've seen cracks before. You know if you don't take care of it, the crack can get larger. You could say, make an inference that the maybe the owner of the pencil had something he wanted to remember, so he put tape on his pencil so that he knew when he was done working, he would look at it and go, "Oh yes, that's right. I have to pick up my son from soccer practice." And having that on here, the tape is on the pencil as a memory trick, a memory device. Maybe that's your inference. Um, and your inferences can be right, they could be wrong, but you're based on an observation and your prior knowledge. That's what they're based on. So let's take a quick practice here. Now, you may want to jump to an inference and say this kid has a broken arm. Does he have a broken arm? Did you see the x-ray? Did you consult with the doctor? Your prior knowledge and your observation wants you to make that inference, but let's slow down and let's make the observation. There is a green wrapping around this person's left arm. It goes from the upper arm down to his hand. That green wrapping is kind of wide and it has writing on it. The writing is a dark blue or black writing. Let's see. There are some thinner blue wrapping that is on top of the green wrapping, and it doesn't give as much coverage as the green wrapping. It's on top. There's also writing on the blue wrapping. Now, that's all the observation I can do by looking at it. If I was closer, I could smell it, I could feel it, I can get an idea of the texture. Then I could make some inferences now. I could say, This is a cast, and it's hard. I haven't felt it, but in my past, I've had a cast on, I've felt cast, I've signed people's casts, and they were hard. It's an inference. This actually could be quite soft, and it looks like a cast, but it really isn't. You may even say this person has a broken arm. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Maybe he's in a school play, and this is a prop, and his arm really isn't broken, but in the play, the person, the character he's playing, has a broken arm. Okay, let's take another one. Let's see, let's make an observation. There appears to be a woman lying in a bed. She has a covering on her, goes all the way up to her neck. Her eyes are closed. There's white pillows, a grayish blanket with a pattern on it, like a square pattern. There's a bright light. She's wearing earrings. She has long hair, two different colors. Now let's make some inferences. What could we infer about this? Could we say that the female in the image is cold? We could. The female in the image is sick? We could. The female in the image is playing hide and seek and isn't doing a very good job, but the picture was taken when she was going to hide. You can infer a few things, but they would be inferences. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go back to this classroom. So observation, a skill that involves one or more of the five senses. An inference is an interpretation of an observation that is based on prior knowledge. So in science, we have to infer things sometimes. We look at something, we make an inference. Sometimes we have questions then. Sometimes we may need to investigate more to see if our inference is correct. Maybe our inference is right, maybe it isn't. If it's right, we may go in one direction. If it's wrong, we may go in another direction. But making inferences isn't a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's a good skill to have. But you cannot make assumptions about your inferences because they could be right or they could be wrong. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a video up in the Google Classroom, and that video is going to practice inferences and observations. So along with the video, take a look at that, and I'm also going to put a Google document in there. The Google document will have some observations and some inferences, and then there will be some spots where you can finish off the inference. I've started an inference, but I want you to finish it. So take a look at the video, take a look at the Google document that goes with it, and also a little surprise at the end. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video. Okay, I hope you have a great day, and I'm going to stay in if it's our class time, I'll be in the Google Meet in case you have any questions. Bye.